Good morning. It's just after 8:30 on a Friday. It's finally Friday. We have an awesome weekend lined up. There's a lot of stuff going on in the community. I'm excited because I'm going to be talking to Jenny Center with the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to kick this on the FM, and then we're going to be able to chat and find out everything that she's been up to for the past 20 years and how you can get involved. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name is Gardy, and we're going to be talking to Jenny Center with the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce. Jenny, how are you doing today? Good morning.
Well, it's Friday, so I'm doing great. I love that term, Friday.
Friday, exactly. Hey,
Yeah.
where are you coming from right now? I know you have a lot going on this morning, so we won't take up too much of your time.
Well, I'm actually at my house right now, and I am on my way. We are doing a drive-by for some of our Golden Division members who are senior citizens who haven't had the opportunity to get out in the community, in the past 3 months or so. And so it's simply a drive-by, and we're doing a little brunch for them, and we'll serve them on a tray and let them take that with them. But it's our way of getting to connect with them in a safe way, and also allowing them to have an opportunity to have, something social on their calendar that doesn't require them to mix in with a lot of folks at all. So I'm excited about that.
You said the Golden Division. So these are people who are they're members of the chamber, or how does that work?
They are. Our Golden Division members are folks who are retired and who volunteer for the chamber, and they help make our chamber function and work. Anytime that you come to a chamber function that we put on, then the background folks who are actually making it happen are those folks that are the volunteers. And among those volunteers may be chamber members who are employed at their business, some of our young professionals, some of our leadership mainland, but the backbone of that is really our Golden Division, who are our senior citizens. And they are awesome volunteers, and they work harder than any of us put together.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from, and how long have you been working in our community?
Well, I grew up in a small town called Dayton, Texas, which is just between here and Beaumont. Very small town of about 5,000 people. Great opportunity to grow up in a community of folks that all took care of each other, like we do here in Texas City and Lamarck. And I went to Stephen F. Austin in Nacogdoches, Texas, and then I made my way to Texas City in 1980. So I've lived here all of my adult life practically. And then I had the really great opportunity to go to work for the chamber in 1992. So I've been there for over 28 years. And I moved here coming from a small town. I wanted to be able to be part of my community. And I had lived here for several years. And then I met Jimmy Haley. And, Jimmy was somebody that you never said no to. And he and I became acquainted with each other. And then he offered me a position at the chamber. And I thought, well, this sounds like I might do it for a year or two. It sounds interesting, and it's a good way to get to know the community. And I loved it, and it's become part of my life. That's, the part of my heartbeat. I have loved being able to be part of my community and getting to know a lot of folks that I would never have gotten to know had it not been for my chamber experience. So that couple of years turned into 28, and here I am today. And I have felt proud of going to work every day. And also, my job has not been as much of a job because I've loved what I've gotten to do. And so I think the work that we do at the chamber is important in the fact that we support business and economic development. And I don't think there's much more that I could have lent my heart to that would have been more beneficial.
So when you started at the chamber 28 years ago, what position were you in then, and what position and title do you have right now?
When I started I don't really know. I don't remember what my title was. It was probably finance. I did most of the daily financial reports for the chamber, and I worked on some of their events. In 1992, we didn't have a lot of distinguishing titles. We're a small group of back then. I think we were 4 people, and we all worked as a team. And then I became vice president several years later, and I enjoyed that opportunity to work in that role. And then in 2016, I became president of the chamber,
So
and that's my
2016.
current role today.
And there's been, some news and you've made some statements that, that you're going to be, I think, stepping away from that role. What's the current, I guess, timeline for all of that?
You were right, and stepping away is another phrase for retiring, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing on December 31st. And I'm cautiously optimistic that it's going to be a great opportunity to have another side of life. Chamber work keeps you really busy, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to move into that smoother transition. But we have definitely got a great plan in place for the transition that we will have when I leave. We had a succession plan that was put in place by our board in June of 2019. And that plan stated that we would, upon my announcement of retirement, we would appoint a search committee, and that search committee would be tasked with interviewing and determining a candidate that would be presented to our board for their approval for the position of incoming president. And as incoming president, they will come into place. And our goal was to have somebody here at least 5 or 6 months prior to my leaving, so we could work together in a transitionary method to accommodate a smooth transition. And so we have been very fortunate that task force was formed in December of 2019. And then in January, they started their work of notifying folks about the opportunity for this position opening. And they worked really hard. And, COVID-19 put a little, wrench in our plans, because
Mm-hmm.
we had not ever planned on doing our first round of interviews by Zoom, but we did that. And honestly, it worked out wonderfully. And the candidates that we had a pool of candidates and narrowed them down, and that those folks that did the Zoom interviews, it really worked out better. And sometimes, things work out in a new way that we didn't plan on, but it's also a really great opportunity for us to learn something. So from there, we went down to, and we now have a candidate that has been presented to our board of directors, and they have approved that position to be hired. And you'll see a press release coming out and some news about that very shortly, because that position will be filled July 15th. And so I am excited and certainly engaged in the fact that we're going to have a new person here that's going to be our incoming president, and I'll have the opportunity to work with them. And so it's very energizing. And I look forward to all of you meeting our new incoming president. And she will then take the role of president completely over January 1st of 2020.
So y'all are going to work together for 6 months. I think you said July 15th, and then December 31st should be your last day. I just have this feeling that they're going to keep you coming up and be like, well, just keep coming around, and you're still going to end up working, but just not like on the books.
Well, no one ever wants to wear out their welcome, and I certainly don't. And if I felt like that was something that was needed, I would certainly do that. But I have no doubt that this new person coming into this position will have total control over all of this and be doing an outstanding job.
So with you leaving, and y'all are going to be leaving everything in qualified hands, and I love the team that y'all have there right now. What does the future of the Chamber of Commerce hold? Like, what does the future look like?
It's interesting because having been in this business for 28 years and having had a successful chamber that has, I think, done a quality job of their mission, which is to, promote business and develop economic development. I think that a lot of our pandemic has presented some new opportunities for us to do business in a different way. And so it's a learning curve that we're going through right now as to how to, continue to produce those things and those opportunities. But I do not know that a community can be strong without a strong chamber of commerce. And I do not think that our business population can be strong without having the support and the opportunities that a chamber of commerce presents. And so, we do a lot of background things that a lot of folks don't know about, from business development to education for our chamber members on a economic uh, basis that's affordable, trying to keep all of our businesses on track and on trend with current opportunities for them to learn and grow, and also the opportunities for their business to be promoted in different ways. We are heavily event driven, and those events are all valuable from a resource for businesses. We do have some events that we kind of qualify them as a community event, and one of those is our shrimp boil that we have coming up that we are planning in August. But I've seen more business go on at a shrimp boil and a golf tournament than I have at a lot of things that are really intended to be a business opportunity. Building relationships outside of a structured environment is a great way for people to be able to move their business forward and really produce some great results. And so, even from a community aspect, which, quality of life is also another important aspect that we promote. I think that those are valuable opportunities. Our industrial trade show, which is going to be on September 15th, is one of our events that I am most proud of. I see lots of dollars turning when that event takes place between vendors and the people who come and attend that. And that is our goal, is to have those businesses and those members who are there trying to let other people know about their industrial opportunities. That's a really rewarding experience when you come to the end of that day.
And a lot of these events that are going to be taking place, some of them will look the same, and I assume some of them are going to be looking different. We went and stopped at the United Way, Galveston County mainland, and talked to Chris Delisandri, and he was saying, hey, we had to cancel like all of these events, that they have had for years that bring in like $500,000, a lot of dollars, for the chamber. Are y'all looking to adjust some of these events, or what's that look like?
Well, every day's a new day, and instead of the new normal, I call it the now normal. And so, right now, we are looking at adding some virtual components, even to the events that are in person. And we're being very cautious about looking towards our events. A lot of our events are really well attended, and we have large crowds. And so, we're trying to take into context how we are going to accommodate the current standards that are set, and also looking forward to what standards might be in place at the time. We sort of shifted our calendar forward about 5 months, and we are certainly intent on having all the opportunities that we had planned from the beginning of the year to be still available. Business can't stop. We are inclined to believe that sometimes we can take a break, but we take a break when a safety calls for it. But when safety allows, we've got to move our businesses forward, and that's what we are doing as well. And yes, improvising to allow for some of those folks who may not be able to attend but want to be engaged. So we're looking at some virtual components that we can add to those, and hopefully that'll add to the content, the quality, and the value of each product.
So I have one final question. Do you think that if a business has the community support, they should in turn support the community, and how can they do that?
Well, I don't think that I could agree with you more on that statement. I absolutely believe that. I think that, as I mentioned to you, growing up in a small town, I grew up with a community that took care of each other. We all knew each other. We didn't have a whole lot of population there. And I feel like really and truly, Tech City and Lamarck is one of those places that's a hometown. And I think that if you are engaged in the community and you gain resource from it, that absolutely, as a partner in that, it is your responsibility and your opportunity to give back to your community by being a part of the chamber, which in turn, offers the entire community a reap for that benefit.
All right, so right now it's just about 8:50. I know you have to go and drop off some breakfast, some brunch. I'm going to be looking out the window here in a bit, hoping that you throw me like a burrito or a breakfast taco or something.
We'll be thinking about you, and hopefully we'll see you very soon.
Yes. Hey, thank you for taking the time. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.
Many be